carry meta that we have found ourselves in. But now that we're done with bans, where's the Corki? It's
right there.
It's either first pick
right
or
there.
it's going to be soon.
Not that one. Give FakeGod.
Well, if they pick Teemo, then you can just ignore everything I'm saying, but that's a very common hover.
It is actually. We'll see what actually goes in. Hey, look.
There
It's
we
Corki.
go.
I didn't lie to
There
you
we
all.
Okay. Yeah, and I actually don't. So generally, when a mid laner is first picked like that, it depends how many power picks a team thinks is still in the meta. If there's not that many power picks, you would match the Corki right away, like with the TF, which again is a power pick that I think if a team has high coordination can be extremely broken. I'd be interested to see how the Corki TF matchup plays later in the game. Or you just power pick a jungler and power pick an AD carry. That would be the other option.
Jinx, Thresh, both seem fine here. Probably get Victor on the swing back if Palafox wants that. Maybe he's got a counter matchup in mind. He was a player-to-player Kali into Victor. He was unfortunately unsuccessful, but I think he's a player that is willing to counterpick players and play into them. Yep. So we'll see what happens here, but I'd be shocked if a bot laner of some kind didn't get locked in here for either Luger or Poome.
Yeah, it should be Jinx.
Yep.
It is. Jinx was the winningest champion in week 1 of LCS lock-in. And also, I think Jinx and Corki together is broken. So
that's true.
Double whammy. It was good to pick it right there. I think, honestly, both teams have just been power picking so far. Nothing too special. I think an Aphelios should be matched, and then Thresh would be the most potent support if you're not playing a range lane, which isn't as good when Caitlyn is down. So all of this is very standard.
Yep, makes sense to, again, break up Thresh and whoever. Jinx in this case being kind of the best and winningest, AD as we pointed out. And then digging around things out here. So maybe phase 2 will bring a few more surprises, but as you said, it does feel like after week 1 we have a pretty solid grasp on how the teams are playing the game, at least right now, because it does seem like the power picks are just very obvious.
Exactly. I mean, Thresh is a champion that was getting first picked a lot last week, so it falling like that makes a lot of sense. The Aphelios should come in, and then you'd expect either a mid laner or a support to come in here. One of the two is going to get pinched, because notice how Dignitas didn't match jungle, so CLG will have a chance to ban out junglers in the 4-5.
River flexing those muscles. Heard it from Raz. Talon. No,
Big pool.
It's not happening, but he does have a big pool. And I'll be very excited to see him play. Exyu, I think as we heard, had a really stellar week as his first, I guess, professionals, not quite. Maybe it's correct. He was an amateur, then came up to Academy and played LCS before that all started. So definitely having a nice debut. But River, of course, the intended veteran here for Dig, one of their big acquisitions for this season. So curious to see him play, of course, on this stage. But as you expected, Jatt, junglers are getting pinched. And Olaf, not one we see that often, is going to get taken away here. Yeah,
I do find the Olaf ban a little bit intriguing. Especially when I look at players like Santorin last week, who had Trundle as a very potent pick into Xin Zhao. There are actually, even though I think Xin Zhao is probably the default power pick in the jungle, it's not like other junglers can't go into him. So you're really picking your poison here if you're CLG. There's Olaf, there's Trundle, there's Viego, right? There's a lot of junglers that River's going to be able to play, even if CLG devotes bans to it. Dignitas, on the other hand, has the flexibility of, do we try and stop an Enchanter lane, or do we try and take away the hard engage supports? Because both Leona and Nautilus would be open, so they could technically force CLG into a weird or like forced ranged matchup if they wanted to.
Yep.
But they've decided that they'd actually rather have CLG playing more of an engage style support by getting rid of things like Lulu, which I think Poome and Luger would actually be very good at. So I'm okay with that Lulu ban by Dignitas.
Yeah, definitely a champion Poome played a couple times in last week. Happy to just kind of sit and support Luger. Makes sense given the pedigree of that player already in the opening week of play. Camille ban means Rakan's locked in, and as you suspected, it is engaged for CLG's support.
I'm actually a little surprised that it's not a, just double checking the bans, not a Nautilus or Leona, because I think
They're both open?
makes a really potent front line. But they have a decent front line with just Xin. Just because of the way his R works against long-range teams, he can ward off a huge amount of damage. So, again, everything does make good sense.
And looks like tank Gragas once again for FakeGod, maybe AP Gragas. We've seen, I think, Kuma busted that out. You have some flexibility there, but FakeGod, like, fast becoming a player that, sorry, FakeGod becoming a player very endearing to me. Like, obviously understands his role, willing to play weak side, willing to display tanks and eat the 20 CS deficit, and he will show up in the team fights and make it happen when it matters. So Viego going to be the lock in there for River. Could see some very fancy stuff here from his debut. As CLG, probably not going with that one, but Poome's having some fun.
Yeah, they technically have the counter pick for
that one I
Jenkins
like.
here. Ooh, he gets to play Gwen, which will scale really well in the side lane eventually against Gragas, but it's not going to be particularly dominant in the early laning phase. I'm interested to see how these two team compositions interact. So for Dignitas, I am expecting that to be tank Gragas, just because one, I think it's important to have a real front line with Thresh team comps, and two, they have a huge amount of damage coming from Corki and Aphelios already, so just in terms of setting up well-structured fights, I think that's a really, really good team fighting composition. CLG side has just a ton of engage. Expect Poome to try and roam a lot. If they can get good flanks off with the TF, then they're just going to hope to snowball through side lanes. The Gwen can make volatile lane matchups, TF can back those up, and that's how they're going to want to play. But if this game gets to, say, 30-35 minutes, and Luger isn't super fed, I'd expect Dignitas to have the advantage in 5v5.
Yeah, Luger feels more like the insurance policy here in this comp. And obviously Jinx is pretty good insurance, as it turns out. But we'll see what happens here. Definitely a bit more proactive from CLG, which you love to see. Very curious to see how Palafox's Twist of Fate looks here. He's often a player that has looked good on things like Silas. He seems to be very good at influencing the side lane if he can get an edge. And I think that is very true for Contractz and Pala as a duo as well. So expect to see some fireworks in the 2v2 if CLG are going to find the success that I think their comp needs to get the ball rolling.
Oh, wow. Palafox with the Predator TF.
All right. Very single-minded.
I mean, the one thing that can do is if Corki tries to shove him in too quickly and Contractz is there for a gank, it's basically a way of attempting to neutralize the pushing pressure of Corki, because one thing you specifically want to be able to do against TF is if you can keep him pushed into his turret, it makes him far less threatened. But if Contractz can get river control and the Predator gank can be threatened onto blue, then it would just become even more ridiculous. So I see that kind of as like a win more rune for TF, but it's not going to help him actually unlock himself in lane unless Contractz can have some type of supremacy in the jungle.
Yep, I think, as is often the case, Twist of Fate is pretty much influenced a lot by how proactive your jungle matchup can be. I think Contractz does have the aggressive end of the side, but we'll see what happens here as River gets a bit of help there from FakeGod for his first LCS game. See some hardy cat eyes out there in the Twitterverse, which makes sense. They're very excited to see River out there.
Me too. He was actually so dominant on PSG and had a very good international world showing. It's a very intriguing pickup, I feel like, for Team Dignitas. And if Dignitas could actually break into the top 5 with this roster, I feel like it would be extremely impressive just based off of what the team went through last year, I think, trying to pull together. I'm trying to use very creative words, like not necessarily a budget roster, but they have to be creative with their spend because they're not at the same investment level as some of the other LCS orgs. So when they can perform, it is almost a little bit of a feat for them. So I think River and Blue both have potential to be extremely high value acquisitions. Yep. So I want to see how they perform as the year progresses.
I think in general, there's definitely a lot of players that can play above their pay grade in the LCS, and we'll see a lot of that as the season goes on, as Contractz, nice and early level 3, just strolling on by to Blue, saying hello. Fastest way to the other side of your jungle, so Contractz happy to take the detour.
Yeah, nothing much but some full clearing from River, which is not a bad thing, especially when he's playing towards a Thresh lane. One of the benefits of Thresh is as long as you're playing your cards properly, you're almost always going to have push at level 2 or 3, which means when Scuttle Crab spawns at 315, that bottom crab is completely free for River to take.
All right, we'll see how the push-pull in mid lane goes, but it has been quite a lot of attention here in the 2v2. Biofrost and Neo doing a great job in these early levels, bullying the lane. I think they expected to get an edge on early, and now River actually making his way down here as well. But as you mentioned, it's for that juicy crab that's left here. Yeah,
full clear into Scuttle Crab. He's a full 1 camp ahead of Xin, and what Dig could try and be a little greedier with this, since Blue does have push. They'd have to guess that the top crab wasn't taken yet, but this could have been actually a double crab angle if FakeGod would have recalled now and thought about teleporting in, but they're just not thinking about that, and very close to interrupting the recall there by Poome.
Yeah, unfortunately no extra wasted time. Poome gets a bit of a heal for himself, but didn't really have anything else to do, getting shoved in under the tower. Luger keeping the CS up nice and high, but again, it's going to be more about what influence can be brought from other areas of the map here as Contractz secures that top crab. I feel like every time I hear a jungler, and you count certainly in this conversation, Jatt, mention the double crab, it's just like their eyes, I can hear their eyes light up as they say those words. It's just the most magical thing is River is unfortunately going to get the bad news, lost the Shellfish.
It's interesting because it actually was, but now I think Double Crab is a lot less important. There were some off-season changes to make it the first crab far less valuable.
It's an NA buff.
Yeah, so I do wonder. Yeah, I do wonder if we're going to see just less priority on Scuttle Crab in general, because I don't know if it's necessarily worth it to commit to Double Crabs the way it would have been last year.
We'll see how it all shakes out. Palafox losing the trades here to the boss bomb. But it looks like we're just trying to spend some mana here and find a teleport angle perhaps. Palafox charging up towards level 6. Can't be too far away, but he's running a little low on mana without a blue card, so he's going to just have to chill. And that recall spot is spotted by that very nicely placed ward. This is going to hurt.
It's going to be really good for blue here because you can interrupt him at the last second. It's at the very least going to force the TP, and then blue will have teleport advantage. I also think blue should do a Hex Drinker game at this point, in which case the poker, the kill threat from Palafox or Jenkins when he's in the sideline like that is going to be a lot lower. But here's a wraparound.
Blue question mark ping there. No Contractz could be here. Flash is up and available. Lantern's nice. Play back. Gonna be okay though. The route into the Chompers is bad news for Neo. But there's hook in for Bio. Maybe they can get it back on the Contractz, but doesn't take enough damage. River coming up through that, his namesake, looking for the angle. Luger gonna be the target. Flash cleanse ready. Oh, he goes all the way through, and that's gonna be Contractz. First blood over to Neo. Very nicely done.
That was so well played by River.
Tricked me.
Well, it's because there's 3 high health targets coming in, and there's not that many cooldowns left for Team Dignitas. So a lot of times, like as the second jungler to arrive, that's not as much a counter gank when it's that delayed, 5 to 8 seconds. But he knew only one player had burned Flash. That's the player he needs to stun because they can actually CC lock him and he can't flash to safety. And once this initial gank isn't fatal, and specifically this hook from Biofrost gets Contractz close enough that he no longer has Flash, River says, okay, and like from this point, they're saying actually Contractz is the target because Luger has Flash Cleanse and Rakan not only has Flash but is also slippery. So Flash gets the stun, Biofrost able to get into max play range. Just beautifully done actually by Dignitas there to get the first blood.
Yeah, very nice coordinated. Turns out, you know, it's been maybe a year or two, Biofrost can still play Thresh. Everyone is shocked. But very clean there, coordinating there as a 3v3 to get that first blood on the table. And that is money where they want it to be. Neo, definitely, I mean, you've talked about it. Both Corki and Aphelios can certainly take over the game if it goes late, but getting an advantage early feels even sweeter.
Yeah, so this top lane is in a very good state for Jenkins. He's able to consistently shove in. He still has his teleport. He still has his summoners, which is going to be difficult for CLG to actually take advantage of because normally having a top lane push like that will make Rift Herald easier. But there's 2 other things that are fighting against their ability to take Rift Herald, which would be the fact that their bottom lane doesn't have push that often, and Corki's going to have a good package timing on 8 minutes when the Herald comes up. So Jenkins is basically just splitting farm, even though maybe with a different team comp, they'd be able to take more advantage of that Gwen.
Yeah, you can see though, Luger going to have to trim that wave. Neo up 10 CS right now, but that will get cut down. And it's definitely not a position FakeGod isn't used to at this point. He's born in the weak side. Happy to get pushed in by Jenkins. He's not even that far behind.
Exactly. It's hard for CLG to punish that more just based on the way the map state is right now without being able to control mid or bottom.
See if this Drake's any interest to these players. Ocean is the first one up. Blue buff handed over. Definitely eyeing that TF now for Pal. He's got the boots ready to go. He's got cooldown boots, so he's really trying to maximize the power of his ultimates there alongside the Predator. Does have the most gold, thanks TF for that extra little passive helping out, even though Dig did get the first blood. So has been farming well as well, which is nice. Corki, they're also doing a good job. So as you mentioned in draft chat, it's a lot more about what CLG can do to influence their side lanes here. Palafox is not going to get anything done just wave clearing in mid. He needs to influence another lane. Yeah,
I think the timing is getting there, though. The game is quite close right now. If Dignitas can secure the Rift Herald without TF making an impact, I feel like it'll become a much higher win percentage for them. But at the moment, there are areas for Twisted Fate to attack. But as you see, look at this. double TP as they start the Rift Herald and a package acquisition. And look where Thresh is on the minimap right now. He's already moving up. So this is almost a textbook Herald by Dignitas. I don't think CLG can contest this safely.
Yeah, you're going to try and get a kill instead here, but going to need a tough one with the package. In fact, it's impossible. Contractz.
That helps. If they immediately turn for Rift Herald, they might have a chance, but they actually don't know exactly what the health is. So yeah, Rift Herald's gone.
Yeah, Biofrost playing bodyguard there, and River's going to take that away. So very nicely done. Blue did have to burn the package after TPing in, but a worthwhile trade of that cooldown.
Yep, good timing on all of their major abilities with double teleport package and also the Thresh roam. So they gave up a little bit of bot lane priority, but as you can see, plates haven't even been sacrificed in the bottom lane. So part of that is Thresh, and part of that is just using their cooldowns properly. The eventual cost is they are trading it for a dragon, but I think most teams will take that first Herald over that first dragon.
That was true last year. I imagine that's still true this year as well. As Poome maybe caught out of position. River again looking for the stun. Poome with a nice W away will get out to safety.
Yeah, and there's been almost no threat on Blue this whole time. I think as long as Blue keeps his farm even with Twisted Fate, he's going to be pretty happy. As long as FakeGod isn't getting pressured for any dives, he's going to be happy. And as long as Neo and Biofrost can make it through that entire flash cooldown for Neo without getting ganked by Twisted Fate, they're happy. So it's only a 400 gold, 1 kill lead, but I think Dignitas said the word a lot, but right now they should be happy.
Yep, very comfy as Palafox and Poome looking to group up together. It is nice to see CLG, stay proactive. Things are starting to break up a little bit. Yes, the turrets are still up. You want to get those plates. The objectives are off the map right now, but, Rakan, Twisted Fate, and Zhao, they're champions. You want to get out somewhere else.
Yep.
They don't just want to chill farming for the whole game, whereas Corki's just happy to vibe all game, man.
Exactly.
He'll be here for 30 minutes.
Right now, there is some setup from CLG. If you look at the bot river, they have 3 wards, and there's no vision from Dignitas. Unfortunately for CLG, those aren't control wards, so they don't know that TF would be able to fog there without being seen. But since you have the Everfrost and the cooldown boots right now from Palafox, his pattern should be shoving the wave and then just sitting in the river bush, because if he does that, then Team Dignitas can't push in the bottom lane safely.
Yep, because the timing is making its way there. Palafox red cards the wave, instantly shoves it out, and where are we going?
Yeah.
Jenkins perhaps
so
target.
He just fogs.
Yep.
So I would hope that he's fogging bot side, so he fogged top, now he's going bottom. No one saw him this entire time, by the way. So he's been off the map for 15 seconds. So Biofrost and Neo now have to say, well, hold on, TF is missing. We can't do anything at the moment. As soon as he shows in wave again, that's when the bottom lane would be allowed to go back in, but they're actually going for Poome.
Yeah, actually roaming up here as well. Poome did a nice job actually covering and maybe sweeping some wards for Palafox to make sure he could stay hidden, but nothing eventuates there as the teams realize what's happening around mid lane here and everyone's just trading vision.
It's the minigame. Now it's all about river control. Who wins that 3v3 or 4v4? Because Dignitas has enough brute force strength right here, since CLG didn't do anything with their pressure. Dig retakes river, and now the next wave, Palafox won't be able to threat nearly as hard.
Yep, Rift Herald drops, so plates are going to get donated over. Good bit of money in the hands of Dig. Happy to just cash in the Herald for the plates you try and get. As Poome, once again, alongside Contractz, is trying to make it happen, but Dignitas playing with a lot of respect. And of note, top laners can't join, not just because of the TP chains. They don't even have teleport, even if they wanted to. And it was 2021 as bottom side. Here we go, Palafox gonna get the flash on a Neo. Flame Choppers there, Frost. That's so much DC! Neo turns it back around, but it's not enough, as Palafox will get the kill.
Oh, River really wants to get something back, but he can't quite make it. I really want to see that replay and show where Twisted Fate ported from and why he's so annoying to play against as a bot lane AD carry. But we have more cooldown.
Again, River the target here. Viego not all that tanky right now. Does take the lantern out to safety. Nicely done there from Dig.
So all said and done, couple of flashes burned on both sides, and the kill goes over to Palafox. But wasn't worth it, because that's now 3.5 plates over to Blue, and the scaling is going to be advantageous. But I also have to say, like, the way CLG wins is if they can get that bot gap going, and they just haven't been able to do so far. So I think it's a strike that CLG had to take.
Yep, definitely where we expected their attention to go. So we'll see it again here, as you asked.
So, like, the Herald is right there, but if Palafox just moves there, thing is, it's also on top of ward. That's the range of TF ult. So this is a max range TF ult. You just have to be barely outside the lane, and you can threaten the bot wave, which is obnoxious.
Yeah.
When Thresh isn't there to save with Lantern.
It's rank 1 ulti too, for everyone playing at home. So only gets worse as the map opens up more. As we'll check in here in the top side. Jenkins has completed Rift Maker. He's feeling good. vibe in there in the top lane. Definitely saw Blue farm up those plates. He's feeling good, getting the items going. But Palafox is going to get some return plates. So starting to feel like this Twist of Fate, who is going RFC second, which is very telling for what the game plan is for CLG.
Yeah, it's just pick and move, pick and move.
Oh, I love this. Yep. On we go, Everfrost in, Poome with the knock up there. Blue a little low, but not dead just yet. One more card, not enough.
But what this means is Blue is at very low resources for the upcoming Dragon, and if there's any other type of play CLG can make beforehand, okay.
Good aim from Luger, not enough though. As you mentioned though, has to go back. 20 seconds till that Dragon is up. CLG already set up for it. Doesn't
have his teleport up yet. Also note, now that it's past 14 minutes, he can teleport anywhere instead of just towards turrets.
He's unleashed.
Yeah, unleashed teleport, I think is the name. Is the original teleport just called teleport?
I think so.
Not leashed teleport?
No, I mean,
they could have done it one of two ways. They could have been either one's unleashed, one's leashed, but this makes it feel more powerful, I assume, even though it's just nerfed before 14 minutes.
It's like a time-gated dog park. After 14 minutes, everyone's off. All right, River here, starting this Dragon that was digged. Do you want to try and claim this objective? Keep that out of the hands of CLG's Snowball.
They were able to get this because of the package timing from Blue, so even though they forced his teleport back, forced him back to base and he didn't have teleport, he picked up the package, got the extra movement speed, and now they're just back to siege in mid.
Contractz going for a good hook though from Biofrost into the box, and that may be a fatal mistake. Ulti ticking away though from Zim, but that's still enough for the turret. Well worth it from Dig.
As long as they keep Corki and Aphelios farming up and don't let this Jinx get too strong. So they get the first turret bonus, but that turret is rapidly falling.
Here we go again, canceling some recalls. What a jerk.
Smart man.
Very. Big brain and good hands.
Utility that rocket.
Gonna probably get this tower as well. I don't think FakeGod can hold it. Does have ulti if he wants to maybe try and use it to clear the wave, but I think Dig will just take the trade. They're getting second herald here. Ooh, going for the kill instead. Was looking to get one more kill. FakeGod with a very nice quick ulti, but it's not enough. Poome found the engage. Everfrost into the chompers. You're just CC'd forever. See you next game, because you still CC'd as Luger gets FakeGod.
Nicely done. Palafox finds another roam timing. It's very, very important that those are also going towards the Jinx. I think Gwen, even though, sure, you could say get the ganks for Gwen, I think Gwen will outscale on her own just by the nature of the champion, and it's the Jinx that they need to get the kills on. Let's see if they get a gank in here, though. Palafox is everywhere.
I love this TP. Little inverted jungle gank. Jenkins the one ganking here. 3v3 soon. Biofrost lances one out, but River maybe not so lucky. It's Blue, the target they want, though. Neo there. Maybe can turn the damage back around. Jenkins low. River trying to make the play. Gets the possession of the soul. Takes out Jenkins, and it's a 1-for-1.
Whew. Spicy when he comes in with that teleport. I understand that Dig was trying to get more of the gold onto Corki, but a good comeback there by Palafox, who now with the RFC, the Predator, and a pretty low cooldown on that ultimate, is going to continue to try and punish Dig anytime they move forward in the side lane.
Contractz eating damage there. Gale Force done for both these ADs. So Neo definitely equipped for a scuffle, but Luger feeling good with the extra money from the kill and the assist, though Neo does have one as well alongside his death. FakeGod here going to clear this wave. Palafox finally looking to leave this tower, I think. Maybe not. Just chill. Wait for your ulti to come back off cooldown. CLG know what cooldowns they need to wait before, but already Palafox ulti cooling right off here. It's almost done.
It's only 107-second cooldown. It feels like he's been everywhere, though, because he used it, then about a minute later he teleported, and then now he's threatening to be able to move up again. From the side lane, as long as they're pushing in mid, don't expect too much for him at the moment, but if he shoves that next wave in, they're going to have a move timing to go wherever they want. They just push FakeGod right off the turret.
Yep, FakeGod is forced all the way back behind the tier 2. CLG are going to break this tower here in top lane. Looks like the counter push is coming through for Dig. Jenkins going to have to be a bit careful. He's in a 2v1 right now, as you can see, but he's clearing the way pretty nicely. River coming in hot, though. Jenkins, can it be okay? Pops the ulti already. Jenkins needs that.
Yeah, there's like 4 people on the way.
Oh, no. All right, Palafox, can he bail him out? 2v4? Actually, he's so far away.
The range is not that far.
Yeah, no, it's not.
5,500.
Well, a long time since that's been the case of Twisted Fate. I think Jenkins going to have to say goodbye to his life and his tower. The W only lasts so long as River nabs himself a kill.
Yeah, that is a move where Jenkins needed to just concede the turret to the Corki because he ends up dying for it as well. And since Palafox was also just resetting, they didn't get anything immediately off of it. But let's see how quickly they can pressure this turret. as Dig has to reset as well. If it ends up being a mid for bot turret trade, it's actually pretty even when factoring in the kill.
The Contractz actually made it a little bit faster there, thanks to Hexgate Gaming. 2v2 in mid lane. Poome on the side though. River also reinforcing. Contractz locked up, snared up by Biofrost's hook, and this just looks terrible on his side. Contractz is going to go down as Dig rushed through the river in mid.
Very greedy trying to finish that turret.
They got it.
Breaking the mid turret is still very valuable for Twisted Fate, but let's see if they can make it back to control river at all with the Hextech Drake coming up in 45 seconds.
All right, everyone resetting by the looks of things. Not sure what the package status is for Blue, but doesn't have it yet as he clears out this bottom wave. Not quite there on the items yet either. Still looking for the transform on the Manamune, still looking for the item number 2. He's going for Ludens by the looks of things. And Palafox with the extra money.
Yeah.
Already with the Zhonya's finish, so it's just more and more playmaking, right? He's not going Rabadons and trying to carry this game that way. He's just, he knows his job. Just give kills to everyone else.
He's very fed. And the Zhonya's technically gives him the ability to dive in more, but it's interesting. 20 minutes in, I need to see how they can transition this TF pressure now that they've gotten the outer turrets down, because Dig has a really good setup on this Drake, so it's just gone to Dig.
Yep, not going to get this one, not going to get their own blue buff. Neo's going to be the recipient of that one. And CLG are going to just continue splitting the map here. I mean, Jenkins we've seen, he's left in the side lanes, but he's on the weak side right now alongside FakeGod as CLG are trying to overload this top half. Blue with the package, can be brazen here, but doesn't want to get too tricky with it.
He got it.
He got the
blue. Blue.
Does he get extra power?
I wish.
I don't think so. Yeah,
he wishes.
He does.
Names would be very overpowered there.
That's true.
Oh, turret gets more damage.
I named myself Longsword.
Yeah.
I do more damage at level 1. As Hex get out there from Luger, getting back out to safety. You can see a lot of these kind of cross-river invades with the map being so more open, which kind of feels fun in a Twisted Fate comp, but CLG again just trying to continue finding a way to pressure the map. It looks like Palafox is on permanent side lane duty right now, but Biofrost not missing many, as Contractz eats a lot of damage from that rocket poke.
Biofrost is really crucial in this game. One of Thresh's other jobs against Twisted Fate is just create a large amount of spacing, so wherever he ports in, even if he lands the gold card, you can kind of time it so the guy picks the Lantern as the gold card is flying, and then he's like 2,000 units away by the time it lands, and the TF gank isn't fatal. So really watch to see if Biofrost is able to maintain the right spacing. The problem with that, though, would be when you're creating that space with Thresh, you're not finding yourself in engage angles because you're actually putting yourself up in a disengaged position. So Dig, it then makes it more important that like dragons are their win condition, not necessarily Thresh picks. They're mainly trying to avoid getting picked until they can force these 5v5 fights at probably a Hextech Soul or a big Baron fight. And so far, like even though CLG has that 1,000 gold advantage, both teams are attempting to play towards their win conditions.
Yeah. Curious to see if CLG want to maybe mix things up. Currently in a 1-3-1 with Palafox as the other side laner, but I wonder if Twisted Fate could maybe be served alongside Jenkins, who is powering up towards item number 2. He's got a very healthy CS lead. We know Gwen is an absolute menace in the side lane, but CLG, I think, happy with their configuration for now as Poome. That looks aggressive.
Well, they're actually able to play very aggressive right now because they can get push in both side lanes, and because of that, it also gives them the ability to control mid lane. So technically, Team Dignitas would be stronger in a 5v5, but they just can't have 5 people there.
Right.
Because the first person on the wave in bottom lane has been Gwen, and in top lane has been Twisted Fate. So anytime Dig wants to hit that mid turret, the soul laners from CLG are missing. So they can't go forward. It's actually a really precarious time in the game for Team Dignitas because they don't have push on either side.
Just like this, River, great buffer. The ulti Everfrost just gonna miss as Poome can't find the angle either, but River had to burn everything to get out there.
Pretty good dodge. Just a flash from the ultimate, and they got rid of TF and Rakan. It makes it safer for Dignitas to retake victory.
Ooh, that'd be such a good pick on a Poome if they can get it. No poke though over the wall, and Poome will get away, but had to flash as well.
And that also gives them a window to get mid push again, which is really beneficial for them.
Yeah, as you said, just trying to force them to a big objective like this Baron. Dig finally get enough priority to get some vision at least.
Yeah, that play failing in the jungle ruined one of CLG's Baron tactics. If they would have been able to kill River, they'd have Shove in all the waves. They could have continued to control vision in that blue side jungle and maybe even threaten Baron with either a Gwen TP or Gwen just fogging. So really critical that Dig was able to withstand that, get mid push, retake vision around Baron, because that means in about 30 seconds, it's safe for them to go and take bot river to get set up on the next Drake.
And you can see they are getting set up. Neo just barely gets away with the recall there. Does have collected done, building up towards item number 3. Luger with the RFC second, trying to abuse some of that long-range rocket action. As, again, CLG continuing to just play to the Baron side of the map. Poome is busy dodging missiles here in the enemy jungle. Doing a decent job so far.
Yeah, they really want to be able to break this game open with Baron, because if they don't threaten Baron now, getting Baron in trade for Hextech Soul isn't as good.
Yeah.
It generally means that they're going to be in a bad state. So getting a lot of threat on Baron now is important. It doesn't look like they've done it. As the Soul is up in 50 seconds, there's no immediate threat on turrets, and Dig is contesting for mid priority.
Interesting spot. Yeah, I don't think Poome's actually looking for a recall there. Blue also with the package TPing back in. So
yeah, they got it. Look at this.
With all this prio now.
And since they're so much stronger in a 5v5, and the side waves aren't pressuring them off that mid wave, the only thing they have to worry about is a Baron sneak, which, by the way, they just used a blue trinket on with 18 seconds left. So now they can safely fall back into River and just take this third Dragon, likely uncontested.
Yeah, looks like CLG are just going to play the side lanes here and try and maybe get something traded back, but they're very far away from those tier 2 turrets. So River's going to steal the blue buff again out of CLG's jungle, and this Drake will indeed go uncontested as CLG are just hoping someone is in the other side of the map for some reason. And FakeGod's, he's never going to play up that far. He knows his job.
Yeah, just save the turrets as much as you can and don't put yourself in a position to be dove. Retaking the jungle is pretty important.
Oh my goodness.
Good poke.
Corki, what a champion. Poome comes in with the Hextech gate. CLG again, like they don't want a 5v5. Jenkins is TPable, but he doesn't really want to join this either. And now it's a 5v4 that Digger looking to start. River trying to finally engage, doesn't nab it. But Baron now on the menu.
Yeah, Jenkins this whole time has been able to push the turret, so he should have some time to get a good chunk here, knowing that everyone on Dignitas just showed to try and retake the jungle. So the way this should play out is as soon as people show to stop Jenkins, CLG would then try and retake the River again. I think Jenkins, he had to gamble a little bit there. I think I would have liked to see him play a little bit more aggressively and force a response, because doing what he just did just keeps the game in a stalemate, and currently the stalemate definitely benefits Dignitas.
Yeah, as we've said in draft, Dig happy to kind of wait things out, use their very powerful 5v5 as the game gets later, and hey, CLG have not grown this gold lead. Still up 1,000 gold, but they've been up 1,000 gold for about 10 minutes now, it feels like.
Yeah, I feel like 10 minutes ago is when Palafox completed this third item. He's just sitting on the same 3 items and a little baby Aetherwisp, so nothing has really been done to extend that position they were in.
Viego getting a little aggressive, eats some poke, but Biofrost there with the lantern. River actually the one coming back around. Luke with a very nice Gale Force to get away from that stun.
Yeah, they used their turn, but they're not really getting punished for it by CLG at this stage. I think CLG is actually a little bit scattered right now. They had to kind of absorb that engage by Dignitas, but then they didn't create any pressure on the side waves during that. Here's a last ditch effort, but it is just a support. I
mean, Palafox has Lich Bane, but that's not enough to kill even Biofrost.
Yeah, that was poor by CLG.
Yeah.
They're in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble right now with only 3 minutes left until a Hextech Soul with a much weaker 5v5 comp, and they don't seem to be able to get the waves in a state where they can find picks on Dig. So it's looking grim, even if the gold is 1,000 up for CLG.
Yeah, definitely feels like Dig getting towards the points they're happy to be at in this game. Blue is going to start farming up an absolute storm with the team at, and of course, the splash damage onto champions with the nice little rocket combo is not bad as well. It is funny that it's stayed 3-2 towers this long, because it feels like CLG have had side lane supremacy this whole time and have been able to get to a tier 2. Palafox looking for River, but the Lantern again. The River just, he's another game away. He's gone.
Good Thresh play by Biofrost. That's one of the ways Thresh can try and stop TF. Note, though, the Infinity Edge by Luger. He's the first AD carry to IE.
Insurance policy.
That's the backup plan. That's the backup plan. It gives them at least a slight chance in a 5v5, because the split push didn't work. As soon as they hit IE, they think maybe we get the right kind of engagement, we can win a 5v5.
Luger go kill. See if the plan works out here, because it's going to be tough to run at the enemy when Blue is peppering you with rockets, but here we go, Contractz in! Poome looking for the angle as well, and that's so much damage, Neo! He's gonna get obliterated there by Palafox, but Luger still needs to kite out the rest of the fight. Jenkins are frontlining nicely onto Gwen. The rest of the fight's happening. Great disengaged keg out of FakeGod, but that's the big CLG needed.
Oh man, backup plan. One stun, kill him. He has no QSS, no cleanse. Straight to Baron. They kind of have to just go for this. They did poke Dignitas down quite low. They have teleports though, and they have a jungler who can smite and flash.
River's actually got his smite cooling down right now. They don't know that though. It's going to be close. Going to be very close. He's got to back up. He can't go for it, but it is Gwen that secures it. And now River is left out to dry in the Baron pick. Gets the Viego ulti out of there. Pretty good ultimate. But Blue now may be in trouble eating poke on the other side as River still somehow getting away in Contractz. This can't get anyone, but CLG, they walk away with what they wanted. They get the Baron.
Huge play right there. You could tell CLG had had enough, just group. But they get it with the Lichbane gold card from Twisted Fate into just having the first AD carry on IE for bigger damage. Not to mention Gwen on those 2 items, if allowed to free hit in a fight, is very effective. But all of this was honestly just like, let's walk around a corner where they can't see us great, and Neo is just slightly mispositioned, right? RFC into stun after Poome had found the initial engage, and they completely blow him up. That is a huge turning point in the game. The question now is, can they use the Baron to get inside track on the 4th Drake?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're up 1,000 gold for so long, they're now up 3 times that, but now the fight is going to brew once again. Frontline though for FakeGod, they're again CC'd up for a while, but they don't have the damage.
Here they come.
Do they? The stun's coming in. Poome again finds the engage and Contractz over the top, in onto River, trying to make it happen. Buying time there as Gwen's going to cut River to bits, and Luger finds the final rocket, and Palafox leaping forward out there with the ulti. That's Blue! What a combo! Luger lines up the ulti and shoots down another, and that's 3 for 0 in favor of CLG.
Wow, they are clutching it out right here. They still had the Infinity Edge difference between AD carries. Neo did not have it for that fight, and they honestly just kind of ran through Dignitas. Really well done there, using the power of Baron, the additional stats they get, and the item power spikes they were just sitting on. I still think they were in a precarious spot in this game, but now 5,000 gold up, they've delayed Soul, they're back into a power position.
Yep, we'll see how powerful in a moment, but certainly the confidence has to be swelling here for Clutch Luger Gaming, as we watch this one again.
Yeah, let's look. So it's really just Dignitas trying to hold the river. The Baron minions do make it easier for them to get mid-prio, and Blue does misstep a little bit, right? The fight starts before they want to, and he's packaged out, which tells CLG it's time to just go. FakeGod getting caught by those Jinx traps really hurts, because it means they can't just have a safe retreat while firing missiles. The fight happens too fast.
At it again. Everfrost. River, they're going for it. Does have the ulti, but he's actually on the offensive alongside Blue, but they don't find anything back there as CLG still with 30 seconds left here on the Red Bull Baron buff. Going to try and shoot down the tower. Should be able to get this tier 2 with no problems though, but Inhibs are going to stay very healthy here on the Dig side, but I don't know if CLG mind that much. This is such a big swing in the direction the game was headed.
Yeah, they have 16 seconds left on this Baron buff. They'd love to get a significant chunk on one of these turrets if they can. They want them to crash at the same time. Jenkins doing his damnedest.
You gonna dive? Something's happening. River looks for a stun, doesn't get it. I mean, the thing went away and I got scared. You know, when the items drop away, sometimes crazy things happen.
Might be a fight. They got a good chunk on to the mid turret, at least, when Dignitas tried to defend the top turret, but now we are in I think we're in a bit of a lull phase unless Dignitas tries something desperate.
Luger's just going to chill. Needs to get all the minions though, because that is his job as an AD, and is going to get escorted out safely. Kind of greedy, wanting the rest of that wave, but he does get out just okay. And Baron wears off. CLG back away, and it's time to reset and see what happens. Palafox only has been everywhere. Oddly, like, the tip of the spear in the 5v5s, which is not how I thought the Twisted Fate was going to go.
Right? I mean, Lichbane gold card for someone who doesn't have magic resist is like half their health.
Contractz ulti's out, FakeGod with a nice kick back in with the keg. CLG did in fact stay for more waves. This is a 5v3 right now, because the 2 side laners who do have teleports are off pushing, but no kills there for Dig is real bad news, because CLG are just taking everything now.
Look at that gold. That was like a plus 800 for Palafox. Those second turrets on the side waves are so valuable. If Palafox gets to death cap before Neo can get Magic Resist. It doesn't matter if they have a stronger 5v5 because one RFC Lichbane gold card is going to be 80% of his health.
Yeah, it's like 100 Thieves merch drop. As soon as it pops, money just falls out everywhere. Dignitas down to the bottom side again, just cleaning up the waves that CLG are pushing in. Now CLG will take a reset for realsies. I do like that they kept the pressure up with their solo laners. And the 1-3-1 still on the table was a 3-1-1 in that instance, but Luger 4 items and counting. Palafox, I assume, is just heading straight for death cap as fast as he can at this point.
Yeah,
he's almost full.
No, he's basically got it. He's 20 gold away. Scuttle Crab is spawning right now. That'll give him death cap gold, and he'll recall. And right now, Neo is sitting on 1,400 gold. Does buy the QSS, which helps significantly, not only with the burst, but so he doesn't get CC locked. Problem with that, though, is the actual 5v5, because there's like a 8,000 gold difference, and a Bloodthirster completed on Luger. You have a max item, Twisted Fate. I think Jenkins should be moving closer and closer to another item completion now that he's at 322 CS. Even though the champions are slightly stronger for Dig in the 5v5, I think with these items, CLG might just have the upper hand.
Yeah, not there yet. You know, eventually that gold will effectively equalize, but definitely not at that stage right now. CLG can continue to use their gold. This Palafox is trying to set a trap here for anyone. River, though, unperturbed, will look forward for Contractz, doesn't find it. Blue still trying to find that poke. Does have the package here. 50 seconds till that dragon is up. It is the soul for Dig if they can get it.
Yeah, it's almost like FakeGod has to find an engage of some kind. It's just so difficult to get it onto Luger. Mid priority is very important right now with Baron up in 2 seconds and the potential soul for Dig is up. This game is still winnable for Dig if they can get the right setup for a fight or if they can just get that soul.
All right, well, CLG definitely feeling like they can 5v5 at this point, but Jenkins is busy with business in the bottom side of the map, but he's forced FakeGod to hang out with him. I feel like the 4v4 doesn't feel good for Dig right now, but they are looking. Contractz, oh my goodness!
They gotta be able to land more poke like that. No MR on the Xin. No MR on pretty much anyone, and those missiles from the Corki.
Oh my goodness, they're going for it. Palafox.
Just backdoor.
They're going for FakeGod, missing the Everfrost. He flashed out of the way, but nothing left there. Under the towers, diving in, they get the kill! Inhib left open, but Baron started now for Dig.
They might just win here because they have 2 people. If they can stop the recalls, watch Poome.
Blue, no, doesn't get counted. Does move in, but they can go for the dive. Jenkins is sending it. Palafox looking for the card, doesn't grab the gold fast enough. And now the Nexus towers are dead, but they're not out yet. Is on the other side of my screen. I'm trying to play my play in the world's smallest screen.
Make it bigger.
He's popping up. He's got a double kill. And it's going to be A-OK. The next over though. And it doesn't matter. And CLG just brute force straight through. They'll take the dub here in the first game of the day.
GG, well played by CLG, ending this lock-in group stage at 2-2. It was a testy one, for sure.
Yeah.
They held the gold pretty close the whole time. They had a bit of a stall between, I'd say, 18 and 28 minutes, but when they needed to clutch up, they found the right engages, and then they ended the game with a pretty beautiful play.
Yeah, really cool to see CLG kind of adapt throughout that game and like adjust the game plan on the fly because they had to, right? There was nothing else they could really do. The strategy they wanted to play had been stopped by Dig very successfully, I might add.
Yeah, I think for most of the game, Biofrost was in pretty good spots, keeping any TF ult pretty neutralized. Dig didn't have wave pressure for pretty much the entire mid to late game, right? But if they were moving closer and closer to that soul, you thought maybe the win was in hand. It was actually just a very close game. Well played by CLG.
Yeah, really fun one there for CLG. And with that, we are going to be heading over to the State Farm Analyst